Yep, this will be a match indeed. Some gaming will be occurring. The San Francisco Shock, who are undefeated in the regular season. Bionic Grenade duration being reduced by a second. It's not like horrible, maybe not be the first choice. And Shock continue to just pick apart Boston as they rotate to the point, and Victoria is just getting sent down to the drink. So
here potentially onto the tank to just knock them around and mess with their formation. Keep those supports off the high ground where MCD from Crimzo. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. That's worse.
oh,
That's worse.
Boston were so depending on that touch from Itself. And now he'll probably be going after MCD and Crimzo. You see that Sam already on that hunt. Already finds Victoria on the low ground. So Victoria grapples back up into the loving arms of Crimzo. Shock just getting collapsed on. That's a pretty good dive from Itself. Great pile drive from Itself. Boston doing a good job so far of holding on to... I thought they were going to hold on to the point. Guess not. They just got shoved back by the Shock. Proper's in the back. He's already killed 2. Even Violet is on the front line. So Shock will push Uprising away.
Here for the Boston Uprising, forcing Mikey back.
It's a Shocker still like sieging. Pulse bomb, that sticks on the Violet. And Finn's gone too. 99% though from the Shock as Boston we're trying to work on that foot that entire time, and Itself dies on the point, and there's no one there to touch. Boston actually we're actually gonna win that fight. So the Shock will take map 1. Unlucky.
The rogue mercenary party of the support.
Then Shocker gonna have no problem advancing and getting flanks. Proper is already harassing MCD. That's a very early immortality too from Crimzo. It's a very long cooldown. MCD's left to fend on his own, and Crimzo is already left to try and support Punk, who's at 50% HP. Boston Uprising are getting absolutely picked apart.
Proper's just dominated for support line. There's no other way to say it. Coming in round the back, Victoria's next. Any aces for Proper? No, Kalu just taken Punk.
That got the Sonic from Kilo just to make sure no one's inside of the castle. Of course, they know Boston's all up top. Victoria decides to jump backwards, try to avoid Proper. And Shock, I don't think they've even lost anyone yet. MCD jumps to his death just to die on Car, and Shock are flawless so far. The flank and managed to scare off Kilo only for a second. Dragon Strike around the corner. This isolates Punk, and Shock want to engage on this. They grab flex Punk, and this will kill him. Immortality drops, but Punk dies midair and never got into range. The Shock just have so much momentum. First, second, and third blood every fight, and Boston just can't catch a break. I mean, this has to almost be a record. That's a 4-minute time bank for the Shock.
Crimzo's low.
Very low, and the disruptor shot. Oh my god, I thought Crimzo was gonna die to that. I mean, he's dead anyway. Took so much damage from. They got zoned off his own immortality, and all of Boston were just trapping the Shock using the Am Matrix from Crimzo, but lost the fight. I mean, they have a 4-minute time bank for a reason, and Shock continue to get first bloods because there's no answer to the Tracer, and Victoria is just gonna lose this. And Robert's playing with his food. Kaluj eats a blizzard. The spaghetti and all types of pasta are on the ground if you're Boston. I really wish they had.
And there won't be an immediate transcendence.
Oh, Victoria's on the flank. He has to convert. Draws out the immortality from Violet. The first time Shock have been threatened in a while. But Kilo is the true danger on the field. And it's Uprising that are going extinct until Victoria finally hits a shot. But I mean, the damage has been done.
Swaps, so there's only 5 seconds remaining. I think Boston may have mismanaged this. Punk tried to hang on to the Gravitic Flux, didn't go for a Wrecking Ball. And yeah, go touch Dragon. Go Dragon, contest the point for me. Them all up into the air using the Flux.
Grab Flux from Collusion, great timing because Punk is just so low. No, it's actually delayed. Transcendence, great patience from MCD. And Valentine could be ready to fight back with a Blizzard at any moment. This is getting into close range territory where Boston's comp is going to look that much better. Rally 2, sustain for Faith and the friends from the Boston Uprising. And Victoria gets the sniper away when people have really easily readable jumps like that. Kilo pushing the cart. Boston are taking the fight on the right side, and someone has to return to contest. And Punk is so low and used the shield too late. It was probably all broken up and still regenerating. So that took a long time for the Shock to fight Proper all the time. And now this part of the map, it's going to be hard for Proper to get up on the high ground. You see that he's down below, and that's a huge grab flex from Kaluja. Got at least 3 people. Punk trying to protect what he can as he inspired from Fade tries to bring everyone up to full health, but this brawl from Shock is so disgusting. With Victoria missing, I mean, you're just gonna have a natural damage advantage to under the bridge.
Violet, though, still untouchable, pumping out heals at their leisure. I think Kaluj at the moment is in the propane room or something. Somehow has killed Faith in the 2 versus 1. Surely Kaluj can't survive this one. Punk's currently a hostage. A Blizzard is behind him to freeze him up, and overtime is in session.
All Transcendence from Finn came in too late. Valentine killed 4 thanks to the Blizzard, and Boston have held the Shock at point B. Forgive a Dragon Strike if you're stuck in it, but it's about who's going to pull the trigger first on this Grab Flux fight. Got Transcendence from MCD and not Finn, so Flux first from Kaluj. MCD with the Transcendence keeps everyone up. Now Grab Flux from Punk. Finn just in time with the Transcendence, and it's actually Shock that get a pick first from all those ultimates, and just turns and burns on Victoria and decimates the Uprising, who are taking shelter at the bottom of Big Earl's range. Of Victoria who's taking an off angle. He's pretty safe in the cave. He has some shelter. Shock on the high ground. Valentine want them to drop right into the Blizzard. He doesn't have Icicle, but he does drop it without getting it canceled. But Valentine's on in this fight, and Victoria's low. He's playing safe. Boston don't have the damage to take advantage of this fight, and it's up to MCD and Faith to just keep Punk alive. Maybe he can brawl this out, because Kilo is dead, but the rest of the Shock aren't even on the card. So Boston just cap in front of them.
Oh, that is egregious from the Shock.
And that was in response to the Kaluj Grab Flux that happened. Now Shock starting to surround Boston, who are just very split apart. But Victoria's been so ignored. Clearly not a threat on the radar of the Shock. And Victoria's killed 3 this fight. So the Shock are missing 3 people, and Boston gets to not only take over the high ground, but are 1 fight away from the box of victory. Maybe a pulse bomb if Valentine can get into that backline, and he already threatens Finn. Transcendence use, no healing for Kilo. He gets pulsed by Valentine. Boston have the sustain with the rally, but Valentine gets tossed up by the Doomfist, and Shock have no damage remaining. It's all about just living on this card, because Boston are running out of time, and they're running out of members. Faith is just crawling away against Kaluj, trying to get the stun. Kaluj escapes. He gets healed back up by Violet, and Shock are just barely holding on to this, and MCD gets the frag at range, and Shock are just running out of steam. This is the Boston Uprising that looked like they were going to take the map until the supports, the flex supports, are the ones standing tall on the court. You only have 2 members of the Shock left. As the dust settles, time goes away. The Shock take a 3-0, but that was damn near close to not being that way.
The man who did not die on Iconvolt, the immortal God King of Violet, staying alive, keeping everyone else.